How's it going, everyone? Austin Honecker here. I just wanted to come on here for a while and give them a review for All Elite Wrestling's AEW Dark from last night, which was October 25th, 2022. I gotta say, it was awesome from start to finish. For the matches, match 1, it was Lance Archer versus Isaiah Brown. That was a great match, but the ending to it, Lance Archer went over with the blackout. Now, before the match, Lance Archer, as he was making his entrance, dragged Isaiah Brown down to the ring and everything. That was cool. That was before the match started and everything. Match 2, it was Zach Clayton versus Shane Saber. That was a squash match, but the ending to it, Zach Clayton went over with the Fisherman's Buster. Match 3, it was Athena versus Alexia Nicole. That was a great match, but the ending to it, Athena went over with a double knee gut buster. Match 4, it was Danhausen versus James Stone. That was a great match, but the ending to it, Danhausen went over with the octopus stretch. Match 5, it was Aaron Solo versus Serpidico. That was a great match, but the ending to it, Aaron Solo went over with the windmill kick. Match 6. Sorry. Excuse me. Excuse me. Match 6. It was Reho versus Jungle Kiona. That was a great match, but the ending to it, Reho went over with the running Meteora. Match 7, it was the Lucha Brothers, which are Rey Fenix and Penta El Cerro Miedo, versus the Workhorsemen, which are J.D. Drake and Anthony Henry. That was a great match, but the ending to it, the Lucha Brothers went over cause Penta El Cerro Miedo pinned Anthony Henry with the assisted pile driver from Penta El Cerro Miedo and Rey Fenix. Match 8, Match 8, it was Serena Deeb and Emmy Sakura versus Casey Spinelli and Taylor Rising. That was a great match, but the ending to it, Serena Deeb and Emmy Sakura went over cause Serena Deeb pinned Casey Spinelli. Match 8, it was Serena Deeb and Emmy Sakura versus Casey Spinelli and Taylor Rising. That was a great match, but the ending to it, Serena Deeb and Emmy Sakura went over cause Serena Deeb made Casey Spinelli tap out to the Serenity Lock. And match 9, which was the main event, it was Ricky Starks versus Nick Comoroto. That was a great match, but the ending to it, Ricky Starks went over with the sit-out powerbomb. Now, after the match, Ricky Starks attacked Nick Comoroto with the spear and everything. That was cool. That was after the match, by the way, and that was match 9 and the main event, by the way. Now, besides the matches, Excuse me, I'm sorry. Got a little sidetracked, I'm sorry. Now, besides the matches, Peter Avalon and Brandon Cutler cut a promo, and Peter Avalon and Brandon Cutler were talking about how 2 years ago they ended in a double countout, ended it in the first match, ended in a double disqualification in the second match, and Brandon Cutler talked about the third match being the best night of his life, while Peter Avalon talked about the third match being the worst night of his life. And Lexi Nair made the announcement that next week on AEW Dark, it's going to be Peter Avalon versus Brandon Cutler. And so Peter Avalon and Brandon Cutler stared each other down while Lexi Nair was looking on and everything. That was cool. Yep, that was cool. Now, besides all that, Taz and Excalibur done commentary throughout the whole show. They done awesome as usual. The referees for the event were Mike Posey, Rick Knox, Paul Turner, Bryce Remsburg, Stephon Smith, and Aubrey Edwards. Okay. Rick Knox refereed the match between Lance Archer versus Isaiah Brown. Aubrey Edwards refereed the match between Zach Clayton versus Shane Saber. Aubrey Edwards refereed the match between Athena versus Alexia Nicole. Paul Turner refereed the match between Danhausen versus James Stone. Mike Posey refereed the match between Aaron Solo versus Serpidico. Stephon Smith refereed the match between Reho versus Jungle Kiona. Stephon Smith, by the way. Aubrey Edwards refereed the match between the Lucha Brothers versus the Workhorsemen. Mike Posey refereed the match between Serena Deeb and Emmy Sakura versus KC Spinelli and Taylor Rising. That was Mike Posey, by the way. And Bryce Remsburg refereed the match between Ricky Starks versus Nick Camarado. All the referees done awesome as usual. And the match card that's been announced for All Elite Wrestling's AEW Dynamite tonight, it's going to be Jon Moxley versus Pena El Cerro Miedo for the AEW title. The Jericho Appreciation Society, which are Chris Jericho and Daniel Garcia, versus the Blackpool Combat Club, which are Claudio Castagnoli and Wheeler Yuta. Bryan Danielson versus Sammy Guevara. FTR, which are Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler, versus Swerve and Our Glory, which are Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland, in a number one contenders match to determine the number one contenders to face the Acclaimed, which are Max Caster and Anthony Bowens, for the AEW title, the AEW tag team titles sometime down the road. And Reho versus Jamie Hayter. Now besides the matches that have been announced for tonight, MJF will be appearing live. So the match card for All Elite Wrestling's AEW Dynamite tonight looks like it's going to be awesome. I can't wait to see it, and I'm looking forward to it. But anyway, I just wanted to come on here for a while and give them a review for All Elite Wrestling's AEW Dark from last night, which was October 25th, 2022. Like I said, it was awesome from start to finish. And with that being said, as always, my name is Austin Honecker, and I will catch your fucking ass down the goddamn road. Peace out.